Hey everybody, and welcome to We Watch TV. It is the podcast about the TV that we watch. I am Daniel, she is Hope. This is episode 121. It's almost Halloween, which means in Hope World, it's almost Christmas.
It is Happy Halloween, Merry Almost Holiday Season, which again, the holiday season is your Thanksgivings, your Christmas, your New Year's Eve, Hanukkah, if you so desire. What is it? Star Wars Life Day.
No.
But yeah, none of this, no one skips Thanksgiving. We just like to have our Thanksgiving with a side of wonderful holiday decor because life is kind of crappy and do what makes you happy. There's a rhyme. And we actually are getting ready to decorate for the holidays very soon. I never do it before Halloween. It's like the clock strikes midnight. Mariah's fully defrosted.
Do you want to tell everybody
then
why?
Christmas can go. No. I don't want to be, well, one, it's a curse. Like, watch the movie Trick or Treat. That tells you all you need to know. You got to leave your you got to leave your Halloween decorations up till then, people. You cannot take them down until Halloween is over.
I fear that many of you listeners may just be laughing at this, but she's serious.
Well, it's also like I kind of do it like Disney does. Like the October 31st is still Halloween. The Halloween season decorations will remain up until then. Then we can start rolling out Christmas. And while we're enjoying Christmas on Thanksgiving, we enjoy Thanksgiving. And then it's back to Christmas. Honestly, like, to me, Christmas Day is the biggest, is like the bummer. Like, that's the depressing day. Christmas Eve is fun, but like Christmas Day is like the sad day. The best thing about Christmas is the build up, and having Thanksgiving is almost like that pre-Christmas thing is just really awesome. Like, as I'm an adult now, I think I like Thanksgiving Day better than Christmas Day because you're just in the thick of the holiday season. What about you?
I like Halloween. I like Halloween best.
But I didn't ask for Halloween.
I like Thanksgiving better than Christmas.
So I always think it's interesting, before we get into what we did this weekend, that Halloween, for you always claim that Halloween is one of your favorite holidays, yet this is the man that you only watch Hocus Pocus when, like, I am doing our, annual rewatch, and you'll probably watch Great Pumpkin with me, but you don't like scary movies. You don't really like the fun Halloween movies. Dressing up for Halloween isn't your favorite. You like candy, but that's a year-round thing for you. What is it that you like about Halloween? Because you're not really liking a lot of the stuff that goes with it. I know you like our skeleton, our decor. So, if you like the skeleton so much, and since you claim that Halloween is your favorite of the holidays, you should let me buy that 12-foot tall skeleton next year.
But Halloween is one of the big three for the fall. So you get the kind of the weather that you want, this is like, I would say this week, at least here in our neck of the woods, is like perfect Halloween
weather.
Finally
fallish.
Perfect Halloween fall holiday weather. So you get that weather, and
just like an old man
even though I don't necessarily like dressing up, I enjoy seeing other people's costumes and what kind of creative things they come up with. And the biggest reason is because it's the fall holiday that comes with absolutely the least amount of familiar pressure on me to go do stuff. Because nobody says, hey, Daniel, you got to come over for the family Halloween gathering this year, and you got to make sure you bring this, and you got to make sure you do this, or we want to see you. There's none of that.
There's
none of that. Nobody gets upset. It's just I can enjoy it and watch from afar as people have fun.
Even though we get to Halloween movies.
Yeah, then we get to Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody gets all uptight about it, and they are all like, I want to win it, I get to see you. Not to mention, we all know what else happens around Thanksgiving. My birthday, which makes it even worse because I really want to see you on your birthday. Well, but do I want to see you on my birthday? Because it's my birthday. I should be able to do what I want.
At least it's not on Thanksgiving this year.
Black Friday, it might be worse.
you never go shopping on Black Friday. I actually miss when Black Friday shopping was like an event. And I'm not talking about the Thanksgiving evening Black Friday. I'm talking about like old school Black Friday where you get up like at 4 in the morning and you go to the mall like the way it was in like the 90s, early 2000s. That I miss it when it was an event. It's not the same. It's not the same. And now that my nephews are old enough, I would have loved to have imparted like my Black Friday wisdom on them. Like we used to go all the time, but like half the time we wouldn't even buy anything. We would just like watch people be crazy. I feel like I remember my last traditional time, like going on Black Friday in the morning. So I was with one of my friends. I was already in college at this point. I feel like this was like before it started to kind of creep into Thanksgiving, and now it's just kind of online. So you really have Black Friday sales like the whole week. But I remember, like, we were wrapping up what we were doing, and we were in the food court at the mall, and I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm so hungry for lunch. Let's go get a salad. And then we go over to Chick-fil-A, and they're like, we're still serving breakfast because it was, like, 9 a.m. But we had been at the mall since, like, 4:30 in the morning. So we felt like it was, like, lunchtime. And I'm like, that made Black Friday special. But for you, you're not going to be doing anything. Okay, so if you don't want to do anything on Black Friday, can I take my nephew to see Zootopia 2? One of our nephews. See, I was thinking about telling him
so
no.
You're going to get in the
because
car.
Because it was your birthday.
You're going to get in the car and you're going to drive away and you're just going to leave me here to my own devices.
Yeah, y'all alone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, what do we do this weekend?
We are prepping for the upcoming holiday season. And you were actually such a good sport. I was very impressed. We went to Home Depot. They have their whole little Christmas section. Once again, learned that our car is not big enough to put hardly anything in. So the tree that we wanted, we've never bought a Christmas tree. I'm a Christmas super fan, but like we've always been given trees. So we've had like our tree that was given to us for well over a decade at this point.
I've like 17 years. As
Yeah.
long as we've lived in this house, we've had that tree.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and every year we're like, we're going to buy a new one, and then we never do. It's the pre-lit, like, lights haven't worked, and they haven't worked in over a decade.
Did they ever work?
I think they worked, like, the first 2 years.
I don't remember them even working at all, but yeah, you might be
like,
right.
and then, like, one of the set went out, and then we had to light them up. But anyway, that part wasn't as... We didn't intend to buy a tree. It was an impulse purchase that was then made difficult. So we sat in our car and then ordered the same tree online to have shipped to the house.
The shipping was free online, but if we
Yes.
had gotten the tree that we purchased at the Home Depot shipped to the house from there, they were going to charge me like $80.
The only thing I think of is maybe they were going to deliver it that day. I have no idea.
By the way, I don't. Well, here's what I don't understand: all those plastic trees in there. The one that we ended up picking out was the biggest box.
Of course.
Now, listen, there was a tree sitting right next to it.
Mrs. Crank likes the big ones.
It was the same tree. It was the same tree, except instead of colored lights, it was just white.
Yes, I like to have options.
The box wasn't the same size. Because I looked at the boxes, because and all the boxes, I was like,
I
oh, that'll
in
fit.
The parking lot when
That'll
this
fit.
happened?
That'll fit. No. This was when we were just shopping around. The 40 minutes it took you to decide.
If I actually wanted to pull the trigger to buy a tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at the boxes like, oh, that'll all fit. That'll all fit. And I never got around to really gauging the one that we purchased. And it's so frustrating.
Well, me and the worker were sharing looks, and Daniel's like insisting that it can go in. The poor like high school or 20-some-year-old, I don't know, they all look the same to me. Worker's looking at me like, and I'm like, yeah, Daniel, I don't think it's fitting. Like he's looking at me like, help. But yeah, it took
How
a
do
while.
people take stuff home? Oh, wait, right. I know the answer. Everybody in this country owns a freaking tank for a vehicle. And so they don't have this problem. I don't want to drive a tank. I want to drive a nice, reasonable sedan that can't fit a Christmas tree on it.
I'm going to have to say goodbye to the old tree, though. Like, and say my goodbyes. Because I never got to say goodbyes to when my parents replaced.
Well, you better say it soon,
trees.
because as soon as we get that new tree and I verify it's the correct thing that we got,
Yes.
that old tree is going out by the garbage.
We don't want it to be like the middle situation where they put the wrong topper in there. You know how the middle,
Yeah.
they have like the pink topper on
Yeah,
the
I'm
tree?
going to open it up and make sure everything's working right. And once I have confirmed that, that old tree is going out.
Well, we have a new deck that Daniel helped my dad build and the crew. And that was, I was like, well, we're going to decorate the deck this year and we have to replace the outside lights. So that's why we went to Home Depot. And then we ended up getting a new tree, which you did push the decision to get a new tree, bows, garland, which was for the deck, new lights, and a penguin for the yard. So I'm going to have my goose in her Christmas outfit. I'm going to have my snowman and the penguin and all of this.
The snowman and the penguin
And I
are
can't wait.
inflatables, by the way, everybody, just so
Yes.
you know. The class.
I didn't make you get the Mickey
The class
and
of decoration that we're
Yes.
using.
You know what? It's whimsical. It's fun. But you know what else is whimsical and fun? When Daniel is wrong. And guess what? This is what the segment of the podcast where we call Drag Him. So if you listened to last week's episode, you heard Daniel rant about Hallmark Christmas movies. Because we watched a Hallmark Halloween movie. Haul Out the Halloween. Go check it out. It's not that bad. But that was kind of our lead up into the Christmas movies. Because that's another thing. Not only will I not decorate till after Halloween, I make myself wait to November 1st to listen to Christmas music and then to watch the Christmas movies. And we always start off with the Hallmark ones before we move into the A-listers. And Daniel was like, none of them are good. They're all terrible. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I know you've said movies are good so far. Well, our podcast friend, who has actually been on the podcast before, John Paul, he left us a fan mail that says, first he says, I really enjoy the podcast, guys. Thanks. And then he says, as a reminder to your listeners to rate the show 5 stars on whatever app they use. We should probably be doing that more often. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, go rate us.
Everybody rate us 5 stars, even though Daniel lies. And then it said, but Daniel stated in last week's episode that he never said he loved or liked a Hallmark movie. Is this true? It is not true. And then later, it looked like in the day that I'm going to pull it up here on my Twitter.
Guess he had some free time on his hands.
No, it's cut. I was waiting to do the same thing, and he did the work for me.
Actually, I did the work for both of you.
I guess. Thanks to Daniel for putting together last year's Hallmark movie supercut, and we will have another Hallmark movie supercut featuring our conversations from the 2024 movies coming sometime in early November. But he says it didn't take long to find 2 examples of him saying he liked a Hallmark movie. Can we expect a retraction or apology by Daniel in the next episode? So here we have this. I'm going to roll the tapes now. I really like how some of the Hallmark movies the past couple years have been going off the script. We had like the one last year with like the restaurant where sort of like Love Actually, where romance wasn't at the center.
I actually like that one.
That one was good. Did you hear that? He said, I actually like that one. Then we have this. So I got to get it pulled up.
Holiday Hallmark movie that we watch. It's the Hanukkah one, so you
Yes,
can't call it
so
Christmas.
the holiday movie.
Round and Round. This was a good movie.
Yes.
I'm going to start out right there. This was a good movie. I'm not going to say too much.
Was it fine?
It was a good movie.
It's a good movie.
I'm not...
This was a good movie, and I know you're going to be like, but that one I already clarified wasn't a Christmas movie. It still counts as a Hallmark holiday movie because Hanukkah is part of the holiday season. So there you have it, folks. The footage. Daniel, apologize to our listeners for being a liar.
First of all, John Paul, I love you, buddy. But the fact that you listen to your podcasts on 2 times is
it makes me sound like a crazy person.
is devious, and I don't know how you do it. And yes, I can't imagine like listening to Hope at a higher speed than that. Second, the one that I said was good is not a Christmas movie.
I just clarified that before you said that. Were you already preparing? I said,
no, I heard
know
you.
You're going to say that. It's a Hallmark holiday movie. It still counts, and you said it was good. But then you said you liked the other one. So there's been more that you've said you've liked. Apologize right now, Daniel.
Did we check and make sure he didn't use AI to like
he didn't
change my voice
remember
over
this
and do that?
I'm there for all the stuff. Apologize now.
I apologize, and I will also never state verbally that I liked or thought any of these holiday movies were good ever again.
You like the one with the magical doorknobs and the Thanksgiving hotline.
That's false.
Yes, you did. Okay, Mr. Scrooge.
Hey, did we get any other interaction on last week's podcast other than people calling me out for my opinions on the past movies and the mental state that I may or may not have been in? You guys should really let me put it this way. If I'm sitting here telling you guys that a Hallmark movie was good or that I liked it, that might be me telling you guys that I've been kidnapped and I need help.
Oh, please.
Similar to how, like, if you called me on the phone and called me Dan.
Are you referencing 90210?
Yes, I am. I would know immediately that there was something wrong. So if I'm sitting here telling you guys that Hallmark movies are good and I'm enjoying them, something's wrong.
No, it's just because you like to be Mr. Cranky Pants when we all know that you're a softie at heart. And I know that you're excited for the 3rd movie of the 3 Wise Men and the Baby series.
I am not.
Yes, you are. I had a comment that said, my friend from Michigan, she said, not your husband ignoring you when you brought up Xenon, which you did ignore me when I said they should do Xenon for
What's Xenon?
Girl of the 21st Century. Zoom, zoom, zoom. You just want me to sing? Fine, I'm always happy to sing Xenon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom. My supernova girl. Zetus Lapidus, Daniel.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, jeez. You got to stop it. And then she said, also, I agree with your husband and you. Carrie Ann is my least favorite judge, but I can't lose her because we all need a common enemy. So my second least fave, so he's on the chopping block, has to be Derek. And then she said, I want Kim to be a judge. Who Kim was the guest judge for, was Kim the guest judge for, not for Wicked Night, because that was John Chu, the director. Kim was the guest judge for the most memorable night.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why we were talking about that. So, yeah, there's that. And then...
Didn't she agree with me on contemporaries as well?
Low-key, kind
Okay.
of.
All
We
right.
think...
I just like it when
is in
people
agreement
agree
with
with
both
me.
of us. We think if you're going to do, like... We think it really should go back to the way it was when on Dancing with the Stars. Let's just talk about Dancing with the Stars now.
Okay, let's do it.
Since we're into it.
Let's do it.
All right, so we think that Dancing with the Stars should go back to how it used to be, where, I mean, it's fine to have a few theme nights. Like Wicked works for, because that was the most recent one, because we have the movie coming out. It's fine. You know, toe that company line, do the Disney one each year, but change it up, add stuff like Xenon. And then, Halloween. That's going to be the theme night that will be tonight.
Yeah.
As you're listening to this episode. So I think that's fine too. That's like Halloween is all about
cut
the
it
vibes.
off.
But then stop it. Like if you're going to do something, do like a Latin night and then do the Latin style dances. The problem is, and a lot of these newbie fans that haven't been around, that aren't like Daniel and I, where we're sitting on the couch eating like, oh, they didn't do samba rolls. Deduct. Oh, they were out of step there. Oh, too much messing about. Like we've been watching the show for years. So we kind of like, we'll say stuff and then the judges will say what we say. You know, we're that good. But they don't realize like, they'll see like a dance that's in the style of jazz, for example, that is meant to be fun and entertaining, but then they'll see somebody do like a rumba, which is one of the hardest dances to do, and they'll be like, well, this dance was better. Or they'll see like the quick step and they'll be like, well, I don't understand why that got a 10 but this one didn't. So it'd be a lot easier if we at least chose 2 dance styles each week
at least
to
2,
compare.
no more than 2, so that you've got half your contestants doing the same dance
I feel very gatekeeping
on
about
any
this show.
given night, so that you can do better comparison. Because anytime you get, like, I just cringe when I see, obviously they don't do freestyle until the very end of the season, but anytime I see jazz, anytime I see contemporary, and like 1 or 2 people get that style, it's like, oh, well, I know who's getting high scores this week.
No, jazz doesn't get high scores. Contemporary usually does.
Contemporary usually does.
You have to be
And
really
it's just,
good at jazz to get a high score.
It irritates me because, like, well, I don't even know if I said it last week, but like the whole barefoot thing with contemporary, is that like the only rule contemporary has, that you've got to be barefoot? It's just when you compare, you don't. When you're doing a foxtrot and you're and you've got a person who's been really struggling with frame, right? And then they do a foxtrot and then they do a contemporary, you can hide a lot of those problems in a contemporary that you can't hide in a foxtrot. And to me, it's just, they should have to go through like the traditional styles, and contemporaries should come later in the season.
Yeah, I think like honestly, if my like hope would be, and I think only one couple is getting, because normally we get a Daniela and a Whitney contemporary on Halloween night, but they've already had contemporary. I think somebody's getting a contemporary. Oh, Jan and Jen, and they're doing a Taylor Swift song, so I think he'll thrive at that, because ballroom's definitely not his strong suit. But I think like if you're going to do contemporaries, you should do them all on Halloween night, because some of our most memorable Dancing with the Stars dances, like Iman and Daniela from a few years ago, have been in the contemporary style. I think like what you're seeing, like there was a lot of discourse in the recent Wicked episodes, which I think people are just hating on her and Mark because they're new people that have watched the show and they don't understand, and it's just like she's the villain, Whitney, who is arguably, in my opinion, the best dancer this season. But the best dancer doesn't always win. Sometimes it does, not always. She and Mark did a quick step, might have been one of the best quick steps I've literally ever seen on the show. And people were like, well, how come that got 10s, but Robert and Alex didn't? Well, one, Robert and Alex both danced jazz. They had way less to do than what Whitney and Mark had to do in quick step. So that's a reason why, because the quick step is so much more like difficult. And I think that, like, I think if you had everybody doing like a Roomba in one night, you'd really be able to see and highlight differences. Like, I still can't get past that Dylan had one of the highest scoring contemporaries when I felt like his was one of the worst to me. But I felt like and some of his fans are so like mixed bag. Like, you have people that were like so mad about what he scored on Wicked Night. I'm like, I feel like he was finally judged fairly on Wicked Night, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think they, like, and like Carrie Ann said, it's almost like there's two different competitions going on right now, and I get that, but it would be so much more helpful to the viewers if we could go back to those old ways. And I think I've read a lot of conversations from the pros that say that the theme nights sometimes make it harder for them to do their jobs because they'll get like a weird song that they have to do like a Roomba to. Like, it just it can be really like, and some of the songs were Wicked were difficult.
Yeah, Wicked dedication night seems really tough to me, especially
Yeah.
how they did it this year, where they said you got to incorporate the person that you're dedicating it to, and
Yeah.
it was just so uneven because you had some people who really incorporated that person almost into the whole dance. I know we talked about this last week, so
We
we'll
did.
move on, and some who didn't, and it's so inconsistent. But I agree. If I were the king of Dancing with the Stars and I had to do one thing, it would be no more than 3 different styles a night.
Yeah.
That way, everybody is dancing. At least 2 or 3 couples a night, especially at the beginning when there's a lot of contestants, are dancing the same style, so you can look at them together at the same and go, "Oh, I see. Oh, I see."
And
Right?
I think at the end of the day, it's not that deep. It's a fun, silly show about dancing. I'm glad that it's getting a new audience, but it's actually like one of my favorite things to do would always be to like debrief on Reddit, which Reddit, like, people would argue back and forth, but it was like fine. Like, it wasn't like that, it wasn't like hateful or like, I'm starting to think like Hilaria Baldwin was onto something about like the bullying. Like, it is so bad. Like, I know, and I've already seen like Ezra, one of the pros, talked about like how it is impacting some of the pros. Like, it's so like vicious. Basically what's happening is people are almost treating it like sports, which I don't think in my, higher age that like you should be like this about sports. But if you, let's say you're a fan of like Alex and Val or like Robert and Whitney, you feel like you can't like anybody else and you have to tear all the competitors down. And Whitney and Mark are getting it bad. And one of the things that's driving me nuts is that the whole thing about like, because Whitney has a dance background. Every season, there are multiple contestants with dance backgrounds. You would be hard-pressed to ever have a show without anybody with a dance background because of just being in the entertainment industry, for one. But let's see, Charlie D'Amelio, dance background. And then Heather Morris literally was a paid backup dancer for Beyonce. She was on the show. Now, did she win? No, she did go out. I think that Whitney's not going to make the finals for the same reason because it seems like that's the one everybody's dumping on. But this is nothing new. I like to watch good dancing, and Whitney, like, she studied it in college and then, like, stopped dancing and was a mom for several years and was making silly TikTok dances. I do think there is a difference with someone like Hilaria Baldwin, who literally competed in ballroom against our current pros on the show. But people got to get off this, like, train. It's really annoying. And then like people are complaining about favoritism. If anything, I think Robert Irwin is the one that's getting the favoritism, and I love Robert Irwin, and I think Robert Irwin is still going to win, and I think it's fine. I'm fine with that. He seems like a great guy, but come on, people. It's a silly, fun, entertaining show at the end of the day. Do you agree? It's just a fun show. It shouldn't be taken that seriously. People shouldn't be making such horrible comments about the way people look. It's just it's ugly. Stop it. Be better. What do you think about that? Just because you don't get into the discourse as much as I do, but it has been bad, like straight up like nasty behavior, Daniel. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
kidding.
don't engage with this show anytime. There are 2 times a week when I engage with Dancing with the Stars, when I'm watching it and on this podcast,
Yes.
and I'm happy to keep it that way. So, anyways, who went home last week?
Well, Scott and Riley went home, and I don't think anybody was really shocked by that. I think on other seasons, Scott would have maybe stuck around a little bit longer, but he just, when you don't have the fan vote and you don't have the scores, it's your time to go. Plus, he's getting on a tour soon. It's Pentatonics. It's Christmas time.
Yeah, he's got to get ready for Christmas.
So I did feel bad that he went home on Wicked night because Wicked is like his favorite musical. But he kind of spun it like when they did the interview. He was like, what if you're gonna go out, like I might as well go out on my favorite night. I think, and I listened to them on the Dancing with the Stars podcast, and he basically said like they would nail the routines in like their camera blocking days, but when he would get up there and he's like, and I didn't think I'd be impacted by this because, you know, he is on stage all the time, but
Right.
he said it's just so different that he would forget, and you could see where he would sometimes forget and mess up, and he would get a little bit nervous and in his head, but as a whole, he said it was a great experience. I feel like we thought it was going to be, if it wasn't Andy, it would probably be Scott, and we were a little worried about Jen. It was not a double elimination. Andy he did dance jazz in your favorite styles, but I think Andy is like Scott, in my opinion, improved a little bit, but he wasn't improving enough, and Andy actually has improved. Like, his timing was on. Andy is the perfect example. Like, people are like, oh, stop voting for Andy for out of empathy. There's a lot of people that are Conan super fans, my cousin included, who's never watched the show till this year. She's going to vote Andy no matter what. It's not about empathy. And
Right.
that he is improving. And if you are the type of person, you want to see somebody with literally no dance experience go on, like that, people enjoy watching that journey. I think that Andy might make it another week. And I think I'm worried for Jen, and I'm a little bit worried for Elaine. For this week.
I think I don't know. Bad dancers have made it farther than this. So
Yeah.
it's not like this is unprecedented. And he's not, and I'm not even saying Andy's bad. Like you said, he has gotten better every week, and this last week was his best dance. And on this show, as long as your last dance was your best dance and you've got a fan base, you've got a shot. But
it's going to be getting hard this week from here on
truly
out.
see, just from the spirit of competition, this week it's time for Andy to go.
Yeah.
Go out, have fun with a Halloween dance, but there's just no way he improves enough over the course
and I
of
think
1 week.
the judges will be harder on him.
He's not going to improve enough over 1 week to overtake some of those other people that are at the bottom. They're just better than he
That
is.
being said, if he has the fan vote, though.
Oh, yeah, if he has the
because
fan vote, they'll carry him.
It's a huge part of it. They danced in the Emerald City. Let's talk about Wicked Night. John Chu, the director of the Wicked movies, was the guest judge, and I thought he did a great job guest judging. I think at first he was like, oh, you guys are really scoring people high, so I'm going to start giving higher scores too. But as a whole, when it comes to theme nights, I am a Wicked super fan. I was obsessed, and they did it in order, so that was really fun for me. As somebody who's not obsessed with Wicked, but have heard the songs 50 million times, what did you think about Wicked Night?
It was fine.
You were gonna say
I think several of the songs, I could see how they would be incredibly difficult to choreograph for, because they're not necessarily dancing songs. And that's the weird thing about again, we've kind of harped on the theme nights, but it's like Popular was, and they did a good job, like,
yes, they sped it
changing the song a little bit to kind of fit purpose. But that's a tough song, because that's a song with a lot of dialogue in it.
And Popular is not an easy song to dance to, and all the pros have the option to fine tune the music. And Mark, like, because everyone's like, oh, Mark, they changed the song to make it appropriate for quick step. I was like, how are they going to do a quick step to this? And Mark is musically gifted. He is also a singer. So, hey, level up your game to the pros. And I think it worked because they sped that up. I did see one of the haters was like, well, Whitney's not blonde. And I'm like, well, no one was green except for Whitney's husband in the audience.
What was up with that?
I was a little mad that
Like,
no one was green.
we've had multiple episodes of this show this season where people were in some pretty extreme body paint. And then on Wicked Night, nobody's green.
Only Whitney's husband in the audience was green.
That's just such.
And you're like, he's green.
Yeah, like that's.
I really like that both Whitney and Mark were both like Glindified. I thought Alex and Val did a great job to What Is This Feeling. I liked how they stuck with like the outfits though to be similar to the different scenes, so they kind of wore like the shiz outfits. What's the one I really think that and they got a 10 too. Like Whitney was the first 10 of the night, but Jordan and Ezra, I'm telling you, every week they're coming on. The judges finally are scoring Jordan the way she should be, and they did a rumba to For Good. They closed out the show, and I loved that Ezra was in the Glinda look. I just love it. That was a great dance. He gave her a lot of content. He put in little winks to the Wicked super fans, because there's like, they did this like finger touch, which is a reference to a Cynthia Ariana interview. So if you know, you know. And Ezra really took people's comments in that first episode and has done his choreography. If people are voting right, I feel like Jordan deserves a spot in those finals, and I honestly think she could win if it wasn't for the fact that I don't see anybody beating Robert Irwin at this point.
Yeah, I mean because when you get to the finals is so much about just the vote.
The fan
Because
vote, yeah.
you rarely see anything outside of 10s and 9s in the finals, and so it's not really, the judges aren't really kind of ceding their power to the fans at that point. So I agree with you. She's coming on strong, but I don't know. Again, we can't see into the voting to know for sure.
I
But
wish you would get those breakdowns.
but I feel like Robert Irwin has such a massive lead over everybody
And he's
else.
so likable.
And he's so likable. Yeah. So
I think he's getting his 10s this week. I think he's going to get his 10s this week. Don't
All right.
worry.
Who's going home this week?
I think that Andy's going to live and see another day. And I think I'm worried for Jen, and I'm a little worried for Elaine, who knocked it out of the park, by the way. Elaine was great with the Defying Gravity dance for Wicked.
I think Andy's gone. I think
You
this will
think
be
Andy's
his week.
gone?
Yep. I think he's gone. I've
got-
said that 3 weeks in a row now, and it hasn't been true. So I look forward to not being true again this week.
All right. Well, Dancing with the Stars will do their Halloween night, which we'll review on our next episode of the podcast. But before we move into some show content, I should have done this earlier, but it's just the perfect segue to do Dancing with the Stars earlier. Let's break it up a little bit. Halloween favorites, Daniel. I'm going to put you on the spot unless you actually read your show notes. What is your favorite Halloween movie?
As you noted earlier, I'm not particularly a connoisseur of the Halloween mediums, so to speak. So I'm just going to default to my old favorite, Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
The 2007 classic.
All right, my favorite is Hocus Pocus.
The Love Actually of Halloween movies. Trick or Treat.
Yeah. I thought you were saying about Hocus Pocus.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
how
I
so?
wasn't. No, I wasn't.
All right, my favorite is Hocus Pocus. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Okay, now this one,
I knew you were going to question this question.
I need clarification. What counts as Halloween candy versus not Halloween candy?
I
Because
would count like little like obvious candy corn, which you throw in the trash, but like stuff like candy corn, like mini size Snickers, fun size like Butterfingers.
so just a fun size pack of Sour Patch Kids, done.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like, just whatever my favorite candy is can also be considered Halloween candy. So I mean, it's easy.
I knew you were going to be mean.
I'm not
going to
pick candy corn. I'm not a
nobody likes
criminal.
candy corn. I'm going to go with, for some reason, I like to eat my little Snickers when I eat my Halloween candy. All right, what is your favorite Halloween decoration?
I really am quite a big fan of my 5-foot tall skeleton sitting in a camping chair on our side of our house.
With Spider on it.
And
I agree.
When he converts to Christmas and I put my Christmas Santa hat on
You're
him,
gonna
and,
make me keep him out
and he
this year?
stays out there until January, and that's my favorite Christmas decoration. There, I covered both.
All right. Now, because we're a TV-centric podcast, what is your favorite TV show Halloween episode? I've been watching some Halloween episodes already, so I have some stuff fresh in my mind a little bit.
Can you go first then? Because I'm like blanking here all of a sudden. Because we just got done. We were like discussing Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving episodes like 2 days ago, and now you're making me think Halloween,
Yes.
and I'm like, I don't know that I recall.
I have 2. So, actually, I have 3.
The list says
I'm not
one.
picking a favorites. My number 1 favorite, even though it kind of ends in a bummer because it's sad at the end, but until you get to the sad part, is the Frasier one where they dress up as like their favorite,
heroes.
their
Okay.
heroes.
I'm going with that one as
I
well.
wrote a song about
Yeah,
Marilyn
I'm going with that
Monroe.
one as well.
And then in the 2 slot is going to be the season, I believe it's season 3 episode of New Girl with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And Schmidt is a public serpent, but then they have to do like, and so Jess dresses up as Batman to try to Michael Keaton. If you know, you know. And then I have to give the middle props because they had so many. They did Halloween episodes for seasons 2 through 9, and I really liked the one in the very last season, season 9, where Frankie and Brick discover that somebody like died in the house they live in. So they try to figure out like if the woman was murdered, which obviously, spoiler alert, she wasn't. And I don't know, a Frankie Brick mess around is always a good episode in the middle. The middle, highly underrated sitcom. Do you have any Halloween questions for me?
No.
You're so fun. All right, so Only Murders in the Building. We're coming down to the wire. The finale episode has probably already dropped as you are listening to this episode, because I think Hulu just drops their stuff like the day they come out. I think you can watch it any time of day. again, this is the season of I watch the Only Murders. I enjoy it. And then when it comes time to record my podcast thoughts, I completely forget everything that happened. It was revealed that Lester, there was some reveal like that he killed somebody or something. What? But not, he didn't murder himself.
So
but he, something?
In the episode prior to this, they found the camera footage and showed that the new doorman, whose name I cannot recall, was picking up Lester's elevator crank, and it was covered in blood. And so they started thinking maybe it was him. And he explained that he picked it up for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. And so now we're starting to, I think we left that episode thinking Lester might be the murderer of the mobster guy.
Yeah.
And I'm really starting, I am now firmly on the track that I think Lester might have actually been an accident.
Well, the episode ended though with like her mob sons, like where we all thought they were just dopey idiots. Like, oh, remember it was like the grandma that like did something.
Yeah, but
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, the grandma's sitting there and like they're pointing a finger at her now, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe Lester like has killed the mobster guy, their dad, and her son, I'm assuming, and so she's got to take revenge on.
And the Arconia is still being sold. There's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, it's a mess. I don't know how they're going to clean it up, but they'll neatly sew it up in a 42-minute episode or so.
It's a mess, but like we enjoy it. Like we'll watch it and we'll be like, we're not going to remember. We should probably take notes when we watch the finale, whenever that is. We should probably like take some notes so we can't be like, yeah, we don't know what happened.
Again, when I'm watching the show, I'm having a good time watching the crew do their thing, but the mystery, if you got into Only Murders in the Building for the mystery element and for the whodunit element, the last couple seasons have been a bit lacking in that department.
I feel like that's what got us into it, but now we're just there for the trio. I do like that they somehow have made Paul Rudd stick around because he's voicing like the robot Lester.
Yeah.
It's just, we'll have to see. Hopefully it'll turn out well. Now, we have not watched the latest Special Forces, so we'll be talking about that later. But we did watch a whole season, because that's how Netflix does things, old school, baby, of Nobody Wants This Season 2. It dropped on Netflix. That is the... I wouldn't call it a sitcom it's like a dramedy. They're very short episodes, so we didn't even watch it. When I say 2 days, I mean like 2 evenings. We were able to finish the season. I think 10 episodes.
10 episodes, yeah.
10 episodes. That I don't think any episode is probably more than like 35-40 minutes runtime. I'm not sure.
I don't even think it'll ever be on 35. So, quick call out, anybody, like we said this last week on the podcast because we talked about this a little bit, but anybody looking to hear our thoughts on season 1 of this show, just go back to episodes 84 and 85, and we talked about season 1 there.
But if nobody wants that, then go ahead and skip to this part to the end because you're almost at the end of the episode. Anyway, Nobody Wants This stars Adam Brody, who I have loved for over 20 years as Dave Rogowski and Seth Cohen, and then Kristen Bell, another millennial favorite. And season 1 was basically their journey of he is a rabbi. She is not a Jewish person. I don't even know like what you would call her. And the kind of the ups and downs of navigating that relationship. And you think they're going to break up at the end of season 1, but he decides, like, you're worth it. Let's proceed. Let's have a relationship. They kiss. The show ends. They could have ended it and not done a season 2. So I felt like season 1, they wrote them in a way like if they didn't get picked up, it would have been fine.
Right.
And so then we have pick up season 2, and a few months have passed. Their relationship's progressing, but there's still kind of that like plot point of where I think there's been some people that were frustrated about it. They're like, well, I thought he said, he accepted her for her and that she's all that mattered, and it didn't matter if she was going to convert to Judaism or not. But it becomes kind of a major point because he gets passed over for the job as like head rabbi. Is that what they call it at the synagogue? I'm not really sure. And they're kind of they're having like a dinner party with their friends, and he's like, well, we like she probably will be converting soon or something. So like that's another like conflict, and you can tell she like wants to, but she wants to feel something.
The
for
conflict.
It. She wants to feel like
she
like
doesn't.
she should convert.
She doesn't want to do it just because she wants to do it for him. She wants to do it, and by the way, she's correct.
Which is absolutely
she's
valid,
correct.
yes.
Is that
It's a
she
major
wants to
life
do it
change.
because she wants to do it,
Yeah.
and she feels the pull to do it. And the whole conflict of the season is, one, they're not really talking to each other
Yeah.
about that and other things very well. They're really not communicating well.
Bad communicators.
And two, she keeps trying, and this is of course, the epiphany she comes to at the end of the season. She thinks it's going to be like this big
like lightning bolts. in the
lightning bolt
sky.
moment, and then she sees her mother have that big lightning bolt moment about the same
Her mom
thing,
decides to convert.
and so she's really frustrated because she's not feeling that, feeling like that, and he's getting frustrated because now he's working at a different synagogue, which
Totally
is a little bit
different vibes.
more, loose and lax with how things are. And he's trying to adapt to that environment, and she's trying to adapt to, make this big decision because she feels they both acknowledge eventually that like this relationship can't move forward until this issue
Yeah.
is solved. One way or the other, this issue has to be resolved because
And they're
it is
not communicating
yeah.
well because I think they're trying to avoid fights and arguments.
Yep.
So they're just not communicating their feelings. Like before he interviewed for that job in one of the episodes, he's like, I just need a night off. Like the way he said it, he could have said it better.
Right.
So I do like it that this show is very realistic about any couple issues with communication. And like she completely read into that, like he wants nothing to do with me, blah, 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 blah. When really he was just like, yeah, I just want to, I need some time to prep and no distractions. That's like how he should have said it. But instead of really communicating, they kind of got like, there was like an irritation that kind of built up. And I do think that happens it's like basically a lot of the season was the Hallmark points where we have the brief conflict, but that's like almost all the season where they just don't talk and they don't talk. I do think that, this sounds like a very serious show, but they do it in a way that makes you laugh and makes you enjoy it. And you want to see, you do want to root for these characters. You want them to be together. The chemistry is there. And you're like, for the love of God, communicate your feelings. Now, obviously, neither one of us are Jewish and are not totally familiar with Judaism, but I did think it was interesting, like what you said about like when he does accept a job at like the new place. It kind of, I feel like the best comparison I could come with as somebody who attended like Christian churches would be one that like maybe the one that's more formal where they have like the prayers at a certain time, communion at a certain time, and they do things. And then you have like the church that has like the rock band and you get to wear jeans to church. Like, I feel like that's like the different vibe. And as somebody that like sometimes I would go to church with like a more formal church, and then I'd go
Catholic.
to a more like a laid back church with some friends.
I
it
would
was
almost,
always different.
Yeah, I would almost think of it like going from a really strict Catholic church to like one of those churches that like has the guitar and the drum guys up there. Like that would be
Like Jim Stones.
That would be yeah. Like that would be a very like abrupt and strange change. And if you had to go adapt to that, which I know it's not exactly a parallel because Catholicism and Protestantism are different branches in a certain way, but if it felt like that kind of like very abrupt change for him.
But we know he likes to help people, and that's I think is part of his favorite part of being a rabbi and something that means a lot to him. And I think that if season 3 has not been officially confirmed yet, but it's pretty much assumed it's going to get renewed. So I'd like to see them progress with that. It was fun to see Adam Brody's real life wife, Leighton Meester, who played Blair Waldorf on Gossip Girl, so another millennial favorite, show up in an episode as kind of like the influencer girl. And at one point he's like, yeah, I don't think she's very attractive. And I just thought that was funny because like that's his real life wife. So I saw somebody was like, this show is so millennial cringe. And I'm like, and that's why we like it. Let's see. Let's talk about the soundtrack. We have a Chapel, Sabrina, Taylor Swift, Charlie XCX, like all like gangs all here with the music that they did. When it comes to the characters, Sasha is still my favorite. That is Noah's brother. Noah is Adam Brody's character. And I'm very glad they did not go forward with making Sasha have an affair with Joanne, that's Kristen Bell, that's her sister, Morgan's character. A lot of people, they have great chemistry. I need them to stay as friends. And Sasha kind of has his own storyline with his wife, Esther, and, them trying to figure out, like, their daughter's finally getting older. should they have another baby? It's stated that they got together because they had gotten pregnant. And I think she's almost having a bit of a midlife crisis, Esther. It turns out they're not pregnant, but she's like, I don't even know, like, myself. I don't know, like, who we are. And he makes a statement at the end, like, if she thinks she can run around and go find herself, he's like, and then I'll be waiting. He's like, she's exactly right, because I will be. I do not want them to take this as because obviously Esther and Sasha are going to be on a bit of a break, if you will. I don't want them to take that as an opportunity to put him and Morgan. I really don't. I want him and Morgan to remain friends.
Yep.
And I think Morgan needs a friend.
She needs a friend. I think they work better as friends, honestly. Like, in general, I just don't think.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the way they go. I don't think that's the way they're going to go.
But I think they're doing enough to tease those people that want them
you
together.
got to keep those people watching until the end, and then be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, sorry, rug pull. We were never doing that."
For Morgan, she needs somebody that for goodness sakes, one of her side plots was that she ended up dating her therapist, Dr.
Yeah.
What was his? Dr. Andy.
Dr. Andy.
Dr. Andy, who I think it was funny because all the Succession people were like Leo Point because they were both in Succession, both actors. And there would be times where we would be like, okay, we don't hate Dr. Andy, but I could never get on board with that relationship.
Yeah.
Because that is so horribly unethical.
No, I agree. It was.
I just can't. So I'm glad they didn't work out.
And it feels like, there were moments when the show where they tried to make us seem like we liked him, but then there were moments where they were like, nah, you shouldn't.
It would knock us to reality.
Yeah, I think that was what they wanted to give us, was like, no, this isn't a bad dude. Like, Dr. Andy's not a bad dude, but this is a weird and unethical situation, and it really shouldn't be the case.
We still have the conflict with, obviously, Noah's mom, because Joanna's not Jewish. There was an episode early on where his mom kind of walks in with her sunglasses on to the basketball game to go confront Joanne. That baddie behavior. And I really liked the moment of his mom bonding with Morgan in the bathroom. Like, those are two strong females that could butt heads. I don't know. The show, we flew through it. It was really good. I think probably season 1 is a little bit better. I do agree with some of the criticisms that you and I literally said it to each other.
I said it as soon as it was over.
That it ended pretty much the same way season 1 ended, where it all comes to a head at the engagement party for the wedding that thankfully does not happen with Morgan and Dr. Andy. And they decide, it's too much. He's not ready to convert. They're going to split and go their separate ways. And just as she finally decides after a conversation with Esther, where Esther's like, hey, you're basically already Jewish, and starts like naming all these like characteristics. She's like, it's not really a feeling. It's like, what do you want? Like how you behave. And Joanne decides that she can convert. And then at the same moment, his character, Adam Brody's character, Noah, has an epiphany that she is enough. I don't need her to convert. She's all I want. What am I doing? And it was very similar to the ending of season 1, where they're about to break up. They have the epiphany. They see each other, and then they get back together. So you were like, this is how they ended season 2.
It is how they ended it.
And they are getting dragged about it online.
The characters did progress.
Yes,
like they had that epiphany. They've both come to the she's come to the realization that if that's what needs to happen, she can do it. And maybe even she wants to. And he's come to the epiphany that he doesn't need her to. He can get over it and deal with it because there's more important things. But the way that they brought it all together
felt exactly the same.
Was exactly the same.
I think going forward for season 3, the conflict just needs to be her actually going through the conversion process and what that means to her, and still the family dynamics. There's still a lot. I really came to like Esther, Sasha's wife, or whatever you want to call her now. And I like that she and Joanne were more friends. I like that she seems to be, even though she still calls Morgan, whore number 2 or something. I like that. I need more of the gals together.
I think the
cast works well together.
Yeah, the Esther Sasha storyline, if they do a season 3, I think is going to probably become almost like a 1B storyline, as opposed to a secondary storyline as it was in the first 2 seasons, because you're going to need more room as the conflict between the main characters starts to reduce as they're becoming more and more compatible and getting, they're getting over those hurdles. Well, you're going to need some stories to tell.
Agree. Yeah.
So I think if
I don't want to have a rinse, wash, repeat of Noah and Joanne. We cannot end season 3 the same way we ended it.
We can't end season 3 with them breaking up for 5 minutes, realizing they're stupid, and then running back to each other in a dramatic meeting.
Yeah,
which in this case, last time it was somebody getting on a bus, right? But in the second season, it was literally just they missed the elevator with each other. It was like such a non-dramatic, like, did you guys not have cell phones?
Yeah.
You
it
know,
was
like, hey,
odd.
I'm sorry. Can I talk to you real quick? Like,
One of the things when it comes to their communication issues that drove me nuts was the birthday episode for her mom. She's like, no, my mom likes to do
Yeah.
this for her birthday. And she felt, and he's like, what? Like, you don't, like, because his family goes all out for birthdays. So she, instead of just like getting him to be like, no, it's fine, like, she ends up putting together this elaborate birthday party that like nobody wants. Guess what? If people don't want an elaborate birthday party, don't force it. Like, do what you want.
nobody wanted it. Nobody wants this.
Nobody wants this. But I really enjoyed the season. Speaking of Halloween, speaking of Joanne and Morgan's mother on the show, and I've told you this like 50 times, and you're like, I don't understand why you're so excited about this connection. It's like, do you even listen to me, Daniel? That actress is the mom in Hocus Pocus, and the mom in Hocus Pocus wore the iconic Madonna cone bra outfit that as a kid, I was like, wow, this is scandalous. And they called it this on the show, so please don't say anything. It's like some like Jewish Halloween, and he's like, don't worry, that's what people call it. I don't know what the actual day is because they said Jewish Halloween about 50 times in this episode, where people dress up in costume. And it was a little wink to those of us that are Hocus Pocus super fans, and of course, you know, they're core and it's millennials. And she wore the cone bra outfit again, that actress, for her characterism, and I thought that was a really good, like, even though I had that part spoiled for me on TikTok, I still gasped when I saw it. And then Daniel's like, why are you so excited about this? I'm like, boy, do you even listen to me? So
About half the
that
time.
was one of my favorite moments. You wrote down some notes. I always tell Daniel to write notes, and then I know one has to do with an NSYNC t-shirt, but I feel like you wrote down a few different notes.
So I
While we
actually
were watching.
I had some Only Murders notes too, but we'll leave them for the finale
Okay.
when we talk about
Nice.
that. But for Nobody Wants This, they made a Holiday in Handcuffs reference.
They did. They did. I don't know what it was for. Was it about like the Christmas or not the Christmas, the birthday episode? She's like, I just want to. Oh, it was when they were all gathering or something. She's like, this is like that movie. I don't know. They made a reference to Holiday in Handcuffs, which is, I don't think it was a Hallmark movie. It was like back when ABC Family was a channel.
Yeah.
So it was like their version of a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Which we own.
Yes, we do. They're in sync. I think
Yes.
somebody was wearing an
Esther
NSYNC t-shirt.
wore an NSYNC t-shirt, and I just was like, NSYNC!
That was noteworthy for some reason.
It was.
Esther also used the term "deading it."
Yes. All the Bachelor in Paradise people, Dale kept saying deaded it the whole time. We've never heard people say that.
It is
But
a brand
apparently-
new vernacular to me.
Apparently it was used on Nobody Wants This. So there you go. I'm excited for them to hopefully get a season 3. My biggest beef with the whole season, other than the finale seeming similar, is just too short. I missed the days of long seasons. I flew through it, but thankfully we only had to wait like a year. So if we get another season, I hope we only have to wait a year again. Give me more.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that they're playing younger than they are because those actors are older than us, but I can move past that. That's just Hollywood.
Okay. Well, let's move past it then to the end of the episode. Do you have anything else to go over?
Oh, the end of this episode?
Yes.
No. We already kind of did the call to action.
Fantastic.
With John Paul's,
Exciting. Yeah, let's do that again.
comments.
Listen, everybody. Hey, we run a podcast here, and despite our best efforts, occasionally, the algorithms need help to, further the podcast's growth into the podcast sphere or whatever they call it. So this week, if you haven't gotten around to it and you would like to, go out on whatever app. Most of the apps that you can listen from have some form of rating system. Spotify does it one way, Apple does it another. The other ones,
I don't even think I've rated us on Apple.
Great job. Go out and do the rating thing. Obviously comments and stuff are always helpful, but those ratings tend to help boost stuff and blah, blah, blah. Nobody really knows how it works. It's like deep magic that just is kind of unknown, but apparently it does do something. So go do that.
Everybody do that. Everybody drag Daniel because he does like Hallmark movies, and I hope everybody has a very happy Halloween.